It's not just TikTok. Has anybody seen the craziest thing I have seen in the news recently? You can just be, you don't have to like put it in your mouth. You can, but it'd be weird. Has anybody seen what they found underneath the pyramids of Giza?
No.
Goose, you got to Google. I know we don't have TV yet, but it's insane.
Dude, they did LiDAR.
This is a real story. I'm not making this up. This isn't for jokes. This isn't for funniness.
I remember it.
They did recently. They just did LiDAR underneath the pyramids of Giza. And there are, like, it's human made. There are 6 cylinders that appear to be wrapped in either staircases or something that go 600 meters under the earth.
What?
Look that shit up, dude. It's real. This isn't like I saw it and I'm like, oh, that's like, there was one time they aired a special on Discovery about mermaids, and for a while I thought mermaids were real. Aquatic ape theory.
Well, we need to,
but this is real. They did LiDAR. These 2 doctors did LiDAR, and under the pyramids of Giza appear to be these fucking shafts or columns or something that are man-made and appear to be wrapped in either coiling of some kind or staircase. They're not sure if it's coiling, like that they use the pyramids to, like, I don't know, like conduct energy, or if they're staircases. But there's something under the pyramids.
They're hollow?
It looks that way. Because that's how they found them on the LiDAR, because it didn't pick up the same.
A lot of slave labor right there.
That.
I mean, that's
this is pre-show.
That's some serious.
Yeah, they had workers working. Did you find it?
Yeah, I did actually.
I wouldn't call them
Isn't it crazy?
It's absolutely wild.
I wouldn't call them workers.
I wish we could spin this. Get up. It's a pre-show. Go look at it. It's insane, dude. It's insane.
So let's load back up.
I watch a lot of History Channel, and I watch Ancient Aliens, and this shit has Ancient Aliens written all over it.
I was just going to say to you, have you looked into the actual pyramids and all the alien conspiracy there is?
Well, I'm saying, and now there's 6 shafts underneath the pyramid of Giza, 600 meters deep. How did they even get that deep, dude?
What?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's absolutely. Probably more.
We know nothing about this planet, dude.
Below the pyramids.
How many feet?
2,100 feet.
Yeah, I was talking to a mile underneath the ground, brother.
Yep. Also found a hidden chamber in the pyramid that contained 5 identical structures with slope roofs and 5 levels. I mean,
this brings me to my next pre-show point. I think aliens used to come here when, like, humans weren't doomed. Our species is doomed. Like, our species is totally doomed. And, like, aliens, like, came here early. They're like, oh, maybe humans have something, like, good to offer the universe. And then we created Reddit, and they were like, we're never fucking going back there ever again, dude. Because that's, like, the second thing I was going to talk about pre-show, because I went down.
That's nuts, dude. Crazy.
So, obviously, so I was eating my breakfast and hanging out with the family and doom scrolling the internet like any good millennial.
Why not?
And I found that first. I was fascinated. And then I was like, oh, I should check social media because I need a good dose of realizing we're doomed as a species right before I kick my day off.
Of course.
Nothing does that for me more than, have you ever been on like a Facebook like community page for a town? You insert your town here, like everything East Hampton, marvelously Marlboro, like insert your town here.
The comments are the worst.
Yeah. So like nowhere else on the internet. Like, cause if you're going like, if you're going on Reddit, you're like, this is a black hole. I'm going to find the rules for Warhammer 40,000, but I'm also going to see somebody run over by a pickup truck.
Yeah.
In 4K.
Yeah.
And you know that going in. But on a community page, man, it is lawless.
Oh, yeah.
In 3 posts, it was, we're selling brownies on the preschool, on the green today for the preschool so that we can go to the Children's Museum of Niantic. The local pizza shop that was like, you asked for it, it's back. Meat lasagna, back on the menu, $8.99 a chunk. Come on down, get your Zogna in.
I did ask for it.
And then right below that is an insert man or woman, 67 years old, the picture of them is taken with their phone on their chest. It's nothing but their chin and their glasses falling off their face, saying the most violently racist thing
Yeah.
that you've ever seen on the planet. And you're like, wow, I can buy brownies, lasagna, and racism all in one scroll of my thumb. And that's in that moment, I was like, we're doomed as a species. Hopefully these columns under the pyramids are
Well, it's
ancient alien
fascinating.
tech to destroy our planet.
What's fascinating is who knows if we'll ever even see what they are.
I hope
I
we
mean, how
find
the
out
heck-
what they
it's not
are,
like
and I
you
hope
can't-
they're
it's not
planet rippers and they rip our planet
Like,
in
have
half.
you even like go see what they are? Like they're under the pyramid.
They gotta pull the floors up, right?
I'm
If you're an
pretty sure it's
archaeologist,
pretty
the
heavy
first
rocks.
thing I'm doing, I don't listen. We created Reddit, we created jackhammers, rip the floor. Dude, I'm gonna start. People
I'm more
protest.
interested is whether they're hollow or not.
That's what I want to know, but we don't know unless we rip the floors up.
Those staircases go around the edges.
I'm
so-
gonna counter protest stuff that's like important in society, but just to have a sign that says "rip the floors up," and then a QR code to the link of the news site with the columns under Giza.
Pretty wild.
It's insane. So yeah, that's what I did this morning, and I also thought about, because then I went down a rabbit hole of my brain, and I was like, imagine we brought back or went back in time. We created time. Maybe they're time machines. That'd be cool. Not cool, because we're gonna ruin the past, and that's the only thing we did right.
You go forward,
Well, not
you
all
go-
the past.
You go forward or back.
There's a few things in the past
I
that we
feel like
probably shouldn't
I
revisit.
feel like these machines don't. They only work.
We
in
have
one
to cut
direction.
that. We have to cut that part. Not all the past was good.
I feel like they only work in one direction. So is your
Yeah.
time machine going forward or back?
Oh yeah, that's right. You probably can't go both ways.
Right. So those time machines maybe got them out of here. And now
If they went forward, I'm gonna find if there's one person who came forward and they're like, "We're gonna make Reddit." I'm finding them.
I mean, I doubt they
No.
went back. Why would you go back?
Well, they were already at
You were
the back.
yeah. Well, if you were like at a civilization, like you're like this founding civilization,
You
like
would never go back.
why would you go back?
Well, especially you're creating the pyramids, and you're only wearing underwear made out of cloth that you made out of leaves in a pond. You're not gonna go back because it's not gonna be better.
Well, I mean,
I'd want to go back,
but that
I want to go
that
back.
was the best it had ever been.
Right. Well,
You got to
Yeah, but
remember
we
that.
yeah,
Like,
for them,
even right now.
this is not the best
technically-
it's ever been.
Well, that's true.
I want to go back because it's not good.
I agree.
There was a man on the internet
It'd be
saying
cool if we could
awful things
reset.
right underneath the preschool trying to go to a children's museum.
Yeah.
But could you imagine if we brought like, I don't know. I'm thinking
Glass
communication, like Alexander Graham Bell to our time, and he was like, "Oh, what did you do with this beautiful thing called communication I made?" And we just opened a subreddit for him.
So it's funny you mentioned that because I was talking with a student the other day was talking about movies, and asking me if I had seen these movies because they felt very, very cultured with
Right.
all of the movies they've seen. And one of the movies was like, okay. Here's one you've never seen. Have you ever seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? I'm like, please. I'm like,
That's
Genghis
amateur
Khan
hour,
in the
dude.
mall. Let's
That's
be
amateur
serious.
hour.
Yeah, right. But it made me start thinking about that movie. Like, think about that. Like, what a great movie that was. You had, I mean, Genghis Khan in the mall.
Mall, yeah.
Then you had Mozart. You had like all these people. Like, that was a great.
It was a
movie.
fantastic movie.
Great movie. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It was excellent. Who's the guy that narrated the whole thing? He had that
Oh,
melodic voice.
it's not the same guy who does the nature specials.
No, he
That's
was
a different guy.
He was a comedian.
You're right.
George
George Carlin?
George Carlin.
Was
Yeah,
George
yeah.
Carlin,
George
you're right.
Carlin was the guy that narrated it. Dude, he was so funny.
That guy got out of here when the getting was good, though.
You know what's kind of funny though is like
Spiritually.
think about how Keanu Reeves' career has progressed since then.
Keanu Reeves
He's an
and
awesome
Nicolas,
guy,
yeah, and
but-
Nicolas Cage.
But man, has he has quite changed his persona from the Bill and Ted days.
Oh yeah,
I
big
think
time.
that was probably his only movie.
Do you know that Keanu Reeves?
I do. Yeah,
when
everything
he-
about him, I love him.
when he
You know, when
first
he
moved
takes
to
pictures with his hands out like this.
yeah, but when he first moved to LA, he
do that
joined
too, but
he joined a
not where they're
street
supposed to
hockey
be.
league
What?
with like regular guys. It's a real story. Keanu Reeves, when he first moved to LA, he joined a street hockey league with a bunch of regular guys, and even though now he's like obviously super rich and famous, like he still plays in that same street hockey league.
I did.
So here's our pod.
Oh,
Get in the episode
I mean, yeah, let's do it.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it brings it full circle. You know, we're talking about the future,
Oh,
and
the
past,
future, the
and
past.
education.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Yes.
Yeah, well, and that's what I was saying. We can, let's get in the episode because nothing makes me feel aged as a teacher more than like I bring up like a sensational actor from like our era, and by
yeah.
era I mean not that old.
No,
And the kids are like,
2000s, they have
yeah,
no
and the
idea what we're
kids are
talking
like,
about.
what, like Pierce Brosnan,
Yeah, I have no
an
idea.
absolute stud,
Legend.
legend, dude.
Like,
007,
Just blockbuster after blockbuster, absolute stud. Like
There's a whole
lady
bunch of
killer of the early
There's a whole
2000s.
bunch of them. They have no idea.
And when I brought up Pierce Brosnan, the kids were like, what planet are
I
you
know.
from? And so I actually assigned one of my kids who disparaged Pierce Brosnan in the movie Day After Tomorrow. Is that the movie?
Yeah, that's
Day
the
After
movie.
Tomorrow? Yeah.
No,
dis-
no.
No, that's a
the-
different one.
the-
It's another environmental.
The volcano thing.
Yeah.
The Dante's Peak.
Dante's Peak.
Dante's Peak.
Dante's Peak. Great movie. Pierce
And that
Brosnan.
had the female actor from Terminator.
Yeah. So one of the kids disparaged Pierce Brosnan. So I assigned him to write a research paper
Sure, AI
about
wrote that for you.
what a wonderful actor and human Pierce Brosnan is, and why he was a stud of the early 2000s. I've yet to receive the paper, but I did assign it in Google Classroom. So
Speaking of AI writing papers, just because I'm sure that's what that kid did, I have to tell you, it's pretty funny to me. First of all, I don't know about you, but we're still at that beginning age of all this stuff.
yeah,
My students, like some of them know how to use it and some of them don't. And so it's kind of funny because I'll get like, a kid in the class who they submit, so for instance, I put out a this day in history reading thing.
Yeah.
I could care less if they know what's going on this day. A little bit of what's going on, but it's more to get them to be able to read. So they read every single morning.
critically think.
Every single morning they read for 15 minutes. They read an article about something that happened. They have to write their opinions on it. So I called out one of the kids for not doing the work, and she's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "No problem." I go, "Let's see what the class thinks." And she's like, "Yeah, fine." I'm like, "Oh, game on." So I pulled up on the board, little Jimmy's assignment, and it's 3 or 4 sentences. Everything's spelled wrong. I pulled up, little Kimmy's assignment, and it's a couple sentences. Everything's spelled wrong. And then I pulled up hers, which was a page and a half of perfect collegiate English. And I said, and the whole class is like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!"
Wait,
I
stop.
said, "I'd be happy to run this by your English teacher, but I'm gonna guess that that's not gonna be necessary." And so, she's like, yeah. I'm like, she's like, still wouldn't admit to it, which whatever. But the following week,
The kid's going places, but that's resourcefulness.
it was resourceful, and to be honest, we should be teaching this stuff because they need to know how to use the future. But the next week, I was expecting
More of the same.
genuine.
Oh, okay.
I was expecting the kid to do it right, and the kid clearly had just added the instructions to AI that said make this 3 sentences. And so
Make
again,
this sound like a
right.
16-year-old.
no,
No, not even that.
No, make this 3 or 4 sentences. And so what I got again was this collegiate with words that they don't even know.
That
And
should
so-
have been actually in the part that was like
Correct.
define a word you know. Because I do the same assignment.
Correct.
So,
So this is what I did. Rather than bring it to the class, I put a list of the words that student had used over that course that week
I love
on the
this.
board.
I love
And I said, let's do some vocabulary. And the kids are like, all right. And so I throw the first word up. Not a single kid in the class knows it. I made sure to kind of make sure that student had a chance to answer. And I did the next word, then the next word, the next word, the next word, the next word. And I'm like, you guys don't know any of these words? Not a single one of these words? And they're like, no. And then I pulled up hers again in front of everybody.
That's great.
And I said,
That's great.
I still don't think we're where we need to be. And she's like, the look on her face was like, It wasn't upset. It was like, I got caught again. Like,
darn it.
which is, I'm like,
I knew I shouldn't have made it.
Right.
You know?
But but I mean, it is interesting though. I mean, because I remember, I don't remember if it was you at my house. I think it was. We were having some sodas, and I remember it was when AI ChatGPT very first came out,
Yeah.
and we were typing in like write me about this, write me about that.
We made a Hallmark movie.
And one of them was
We made a Hallmark
about
movie.
Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, yes, sir. It was.
And it was very
This
funny.
episode already has a title, and it's AI and Pierce Brosnan.
Our infatuation with Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
The
Dante's.
funny thing is he was a fairly older actor
Yeah, who's
in his prime that we knew
he's
him.
in his 40s.
Yeah, so I mean, right now he's
that
gotta
makes
be-
me hopeful that like my
Wait,
40s
how
are
old
going
is
to be
Pierce
my prime.
Brosnan now?
He's 71.
He's 71 now. Does he still look good?
I feel, of course.
He's actually coming out.
How
with
dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, you're right, dude. That's blasphemy.
I got to imagine that that.
Do you think he's
so-
ever going to listen to our
So to be
pod?
honest, I kind of, I don't want to say it, but I feel like I would have thought he would be older by now. I don't think he's
Yeah.
older, not by because I haven't seen him,
Right.
but I would have thought he would have been older
Just
because
based on, yeah.
back in in James Bond days, I mean, he was.
Well, it just makes me hopeful for my 40s that like I'm going to be as suave as
I mean,
Pierce Brosnan.
You will. I already know what I'm gonna. end
Shrek?
up being like. I mean, you're very
That was mean.
optimistic. No, you're optimistic. That's got some height. You know.
Oh, that's
Like-
true. Yeah, Shrek's
Like
tall.
I can't grow taller.
How tall is Shrek?
Shrek is.
Look up how tall Shrek is.
I mean, it's a cartoon though.
Yeah, but they got to have a height for
Ted.
him.
I-
They got to have a height for him.
Seems
This
odd.
is educational.
What's that?
well,
Lord
he's-
Farquaad is really
He's short.
Yeah.
Lord Farquaad is
He
short.
is
They got a height for that man?
for Shrek.
Yeah.
He
Estimated.
is 8 feet.
8 feet tall.
See?
Tall.
See? That's
feet
pretty
tall,
good. Pretty-
150 pounds.
So,
Ooh.
so he's about my size. Yeah.
So the next
So I
Netflix,
just-
Oh, he shrinks a bit.
So
he's getting older.
so you
He's
said
like, Shrek's like 20
so
years old.
He
by the
says
way.
8
feet. Well, he's like
450
7'10" now, probably. 'cause he's old.
450 pounds.
He
I
was-
just
he
400.
Yeah,
I just need-
450.
I just need 2 feet and I'm even.
Yeah. So the next Netflix fight will be Logan Paul versus Shrek.
Just to wrap up on Bronson.
Oh no, we're not wrapping up.
No,
on
we're
that.
never
just-
we're never
just-
gonna wrap
we're
up on
just-
Pierce
yeah.
Brosnan. This is now a Pierce
He's actually
Brosnan
coming out
pod.
with a new show with
He's
Tom-
doing a new show?
Yeah, with Tom Hardy.
I don't know who that is.
What? Yeah, no, Tom Hardy.
Wait, is that the guy from Batman?
Oh no, Ted.
Who's Tom Hardy?
Yikes!
Yikes! Indeed.
I think we're just gonna let you live with that
Let's
mystery.
just
for a
Oh,
while.
okay.
Let's just move on because that's
Yeah,
embarrassing.
I don't. Yeah, I'm.
Yep. Let's love.
I'm upset
Anyway,
at
it's
myself.
Called Mobland. Looks really good.
Okay,
Interesting.
so my homework is to look up Tom Hardy.
And
Who's
my-
the guy from Batman
My
then?
homework is to grow 2 feet.
Who played Bane in Batman?
Oh my God, that's not even close.
Isn't that Hardy?
No.
Isn't his last name?
No, that's no. Move on.
Okay, all right.
Pitiful.
Well, while we're yeah, new subject.
When you see Tom Hardy, you're like,
Let's talk-
oh, that's Tom Hardy.
Let's talk about ourselves instead.
Oh yes.
It's the second episode. We're having a lot of fun. I think that's Tom Hardy, right?
He's
That's
not
that's the
Bane.
guy. He was in Batman.
Nope.
No,
Yes.
he
You're
wasn't.
doing great. We're back.
He's- So wasn't.
I want to prove you wrong. That dude was definitely. He's Venom though. That's Venom.
Yeah, there's not Bane.
Bane.
He played Bane. I'm telling you right now.
No
In
way.
Batman
he didn't.
All right, I'm not moving on yet. He played
There's
Bane.
no way.
If I'm right, both of you are running laps, dude. You're doing laps.
And if you're wrong, if we're right and you're wrong, then the rest of this episode you're not wearing pants.
Fine.
No, I don't want that actually.
Running laps, bro.
Are you serious?
Serious?
No way.
2012 Dark Knight.
Come on. Jerk.
Okay.
I had the accent. I had
It's just
Any of my students who ever watched this show and you ever wondered if I'm always right, I am always,
my
always,
God.
always, always, always right. Now let's talk about ourselves. The guy who's always right. I'm not going to start though because I'm going to be humble. I'm going to be kind. Like that one song that's a country hit. Always be humble and kind. I don't know who sings it. I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was Dolly Parton.
It might be. So it's our second episode. We're having a ton of fun here. I hope the listeners, when these are coming out, you guys are having a fun time with us, laughing along with us. If you're a teacher, jumping in your car Friday afternoon, you need something fun to listen to.
That's all why we're here.
Yeah. But I think they should also know a little bit about us, like how we get here. You know, nothing crazy. We're not going to do a dissertation on ourselves. But I think it's important that our listeners know who we are, how you and I ended up here. And so I think it's only fitting that even though my name's first, I have a funny story at the end. I think you should start. How'd you become a teacher, man?
We do have an interesting story, my
Yeah,
friend.
it is
so, and we are I feel like we're the non-traditional teacher story, but
for sure. Which is why I think it's important because
well, yeah,
it shows not just listeners, but even like there are going to be young people who listen, kids who listen, or people who want to become a teacher
Hopefully
listen.
not. Jesus.
Yes,
Nightmares.
unless it's the Tom Hardy part. But it shows that like doors can open at different times. Like that this is
So
you can get
but-
into this. So
but
how
it
did you become a
also-
teacher?
It also I think makes me at least appreciate teachers all the more,
big time.
and people that
Big time.
go into that career.
I always did,
So-
but definitely more so now for sure.
Yeah, oh,
like
yeah, no,
I always, a lot of good friends of mine are teachers, but
Yeah.
doing it now,
So-
wow.
So so I have a weird history, but I mean, I never really ever planned on education. Yeah, I had I had a whole weird career line. I got a bunch of college degrees, and then ended up working in ambulance because I was doing that to help pay my way through college and help supplement college. And then became a 911 dispatcher, and then I became a police officer, and then I became a police detective, and that's where we met many years ago. And that the entire time I was responding to disasters around the country with the government as one of the disaster teams. And I
thank you for, by the way.
I wish to thank teachers. But so we at towards the end of that road, 22 years of lights and sirens and helping people, I started to want to slow down the adrenaline a little bit, and I chose the exact opposite career for that. But
Right.
an opportunity fell in my lap to help build a program for the state to help students that wanted to go into careers for first responder
For
type.
all of those things that you did.
Yeah, right. For police, fire, EMS, corrections, dispatch. For students that wanted to go into stuff like that, and so they offered me the chance to, build the curriculum and actually, get in the classroom and teach it, and that's how I started. So it's funny, I didn't start teaching until I was 37.
Yeah,
was my first year teaching, and the funny thing is that I now can't see myself doing anything else. Like this is what I was meant to do. This is like I just it's just
we say it all the time. Like I love it.
It's just but I couldn't get here without doing all the other things because
100%.
the only way that I could do this is by having done all of those other things.
Experiences. Yeah.
But
Well, I think it makes you. I've seen you teach. I've seen how much your kids love you and stuff. I think it says a lot about the teacher you are because of all the experiences you've had, both good, bad, and indifferent, right? Like, seeing a lot of stuff in your time. Like, we don't need to, go down all the way down memory lane. But you've done some cool stuff, man. And like
that brings in funny stories though too.
Yeah, and
helps kids.
Yeah, and like it shows you you're a real person, right? And like I think that's the thing that like sometimes kids forget about all teachers everywhere is that like we're just regular people, and and we have these experiences and being okay with it. Not all of them, but like letting your kids in a little bit to show that you're
No, but
recognizing
also
that,
it puts an interesting perspective on us because I've been teaching for 7 or 8 years now, and so I did lead quite a interesting life prior to that, and so the kids. A lot of the other kids' teachers, they were always a teacher or they went to school and then they became a teacher.
right.
And so they don't have the full depth of
the same color
the
palette, if you will,
experiences.
yeah.
But they do, but in a different way.
sense.
And so
Right.
it's very interesting to, I don't know, I love it. I can't think of doing anything else, but it also is interesting how we started.
Yeah.
You don't, Ted and I have a very interesting path, but and it's hard to explain to students and it's hard to explain to really other people, but
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a good idea why you said to introduce ourselves here, but only because when you have somebody that Ted was a police officer and a detective as well, and we did spend some time in the detective bureau together, which was super memorable. for some of the office comedy stuff as well.
Good, bad, and indifferent.
Correct. But one of the other things that it's tough to explain to people is, very few careers out there. You actually have a legitimate fear of death at any point. And I don't want to get all mushy on you here, buddy, but when
because I'm going to do the same when I do mine.
But there's numerous times that your gun is out, and it's not necessarily always pointed at somebody. But if you're in a burglary situation where you're searching,
it's intense.
You're searching a building or something, and you feel the person, your partner, you actually feel them on your shoulder, knowing that they are protecting your back, literally.
Yeah.
Or that they would take that bullet for you. It's hard to describe that to people that haven't been in that field, only because, it does have, it builds a relationship that really I can't imagine any other thing building. So when we're in the classroom teaching together and everything like that, we do feed off of each other, and we feed off of each other in a way that I don't think other people can. And it's also, I think that's extremely beneficial to our teaching, because you're in a different school. So for our listeners, Ted,
24.2 miles.
Ted is in a different school away from me. We teach the same program.
Yep.
But it's funny because what he's doing with the students, what I'm doing with the students, when we tell stories, when we tell, we come up with these lessons of creative ideas. A lot of times I'm like, oh my God, genius! Why didn't I think of that? Or he'll say the same, and they're like, but we easily could have come up with each other, because we've both been there and done that. And so it was a very interesting road to get to where we did.
For sure, man.
But I got to tell you, it really does make me appreciate the teachers. So we're at a technical high school, and so we're in the trades. So we're giving our kids their EMT license and stop the bleed and hazardous materials. Whereas you have other technical trades like electrical, carpentry.
Yeah, your
right. But it does make me appreciate the academic teachers in the building, because
they work so hard.
Oh my God,
they work so hard.
And they have. So we're teaching to certifications and licenses, but they have standardized testing and timelines. And listen, they got to get the kids to these certain levels.
Yeah.
And I walk around the building,
and
I'll walk around the building, and I'll jump into my kids' classes, and if I have a kid that's struggling, I'll jump into their class when they're not expecting, and I'll sit right next to them, because I love that. But
embarrassment is key.
But when you sit in another teacher's class, there's nothing better. I don't care what grade you are, I don't care who you are. If you sit in another teacher's class, you pick up what they're doing that's awesome. You also pick up what maybe you don't want to do, but you read the kids.
It's such a craft.
Right.
It's such a craft. And
awesome.
I never put
awesome.
And I never put that kind of spin on it until like you said, until I was doing it. I always appreciate it. I have good friends who are teachers, but I didn't realize what a craft it was.
Unbelievable.
Until you're doing it.
Right.
Right. So for me, kind of similar journey. Non-traditional, of course. Like I said, we were partners and everything.
How long has that been now?
Oh,
what year did you get hired at the police department? Because that's
2000.
That would have been the year we started.
2011.
So that was the start of our friendship, because it was very soon after that.
Well,
I mean, obviously,
Ted
is fairly charismatic and hilarious.
I have a weird memory, which is why I'm also good at trivia. I know things about Tom Hardy.
Apparently not Pierce Brosnan.
So no, definitely not. But so I started my journey. I went to college, got my degree. I actually played music first. If you had asked, 19-year-old me, was I ever even going to be a police officer, I would have laughed at you.
Me too. I was going to work for Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to play music for my whole life.
Yeah.
But I'm so lucky. I got into law enforcement. I always loved teaching though. It was something I don't even know if you knew this about me. When I was in college, I was actually a substitute teacher in my hometown. So I was working at the high school that I had recently. Dude, I was
first of all,
20 years old.
First of all, your hometown. I mean, were you teaching cows?
Well,
out there.
I was teaching about cows. I wasn't teaching to cows. But I actually substitute taught at the district where I grew up.
That's cool.
And I liked it, man. It was a weird experience because the subsystem, like a lot of subs. And by the way, shout out to our subs,
Oh my
because my
God.
God, without them, I had a great sub at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Shout her out.
Well, she was there for the whole for half your year.
Wonderful
yeah.
person. Subs don't get enough credit because they're just, they're on the firing line.
Yeah.
But like a lot of subsystems, like it was just like you get a call in the morning, like, hey, this school needs a sub, and I was like, okay, cool. And I was thinking I was going to do like elementary school. Here I'm 20 years old, and now I'm in a senior English class with kids who are only 2 years younger than me that I went to high school with. And they're like, dude, what are you doing here? One of the teachers actually asked me for a pass at one point. Neither here nor there. But then I got into law enforcement, which I'm so thankful for that, because I got an opportunity to get back in the classroom. I taught DARE.
Yeah, you did.
Before I went into the detective bureau, and then I got to meet you and have our whole run as detectives, which was, it was
rewarding. We got to help
we did a lot of awesome
and
stuff.
I'm super proud that we helped more people out of jail than we put in. I mean, like we had a great career.
We did it for the right reasons and
Yeah.
did it the right way, which is something I'm super thankful for, that now I bring that same mentality with me to teaching.
Yeah.
Right? Like our kids are good kids, and
Yeah, they are.
giving them the benefit of the doubt is so important. But I'll never forget a couple things. One, the day we became friends. Not to get mushy on you, but dude, I'll never forget. I was at my first in-service training. It's yearly training. Anybody in law enforcement who listens to us, you'll know what in-service means. And I was with a bunch of older guys, and you were actually teaching the medical day. And we had only talked a couple times, but you went out of your way that day, and I'll never forget it, to invite me to lunch. And you got me away from the older guys, and you included me like I was brand new, which included me like had been there for years. I don't remember the name of it, but I'll never forget where we went. We actually went to like some Polish restaurant, and we had pierogies and a bunch of, I don't remember where we went with a bunch of the guys that you were teaching with. And that day I was like, this is a good dude. I was like, this guy's genuinely an awesome guy, to just out of nowhere pluck me out and be like, dude, you're coming with me today. And that was the start. And then, from there, we had so many great memories. I
think one of the things that keeps us, that kept us friends all those years and stuff is our sense of humor.
Yeah.
Which,
like the time you got your car stuck.
oh, why you gotta bring that up? Like, I think
the time I handcuffed us together on your last day.
Oh my God. So these are reportable things.
That's why I'm not going to tell the story.
So we yeah. So one of the things that
no snitches.
One of the things that I think is awesome about teaching is the teachers that have a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
Just like any career. I mean, I gotta tell you, there's a thing with gym teachers. Like my gym teacher at the school is one of the funniest people I've ever met.
They're hilarious.
One of the funniest people I've ever met. And my God, the kids love them.
Yeah.
Right. And like you have to have a sense of humor. So my teaching partner and I at my school, we do pranks on each other, and we have a tally list on the board of who does pranks on what. And we pull some unbelievable jokes on each other and pranks, and they're good. Like I had I had the school deliver edible arrangements to him in front of all the other teachers. I had all of the students in the class like we had a unicorn day where every kid had to bring in something with unicorns because that was his favorite thing, and like he had no idea what I was doing. His work anniversary, I had a big cake made that said "Happy Anniversary, sweetie." like ridiculous stuff. And then like he got me back a couple times. It was really good. But yeah, I mean like the kids feed off that too.
Yeah,
like humor is the way you get through anything, and that's
big time.
That's why we started this too, though. Like let's be serious. The whole reason why we started this, and it was all your idea, and it was a great idea, was like, look,
like this is relatable.
We enjoy funny things, and if you go to a lot of the teacher podcasts that are out there, are how you get better at doing this, how you get better at doing that, and it's like,
which are great,
right? But at the same point, like that's not what I want to.
You want to be seen. You want to be that teacher. I want to know that when the crazy thing happened to me, when I get in my car on a Friday afternoon, that another teacher somewhere was like, "That really happened to me today."
Well, teaching is funny, man.
It is.
I mean, the stuff that I hear on a daily basis,
the stuff the kids say, the stuff that happens, like, and we'll see. We might have to cut this one. Like my kids the other day, where I brought them outside. We had a hard lesson. It was a long day, and we went outside, and we were, I was just kind of, they were walking on the track in some sunshine, and one of the kids came up to me, "Oh, mister, because I had been talking to another teacher about a class I'm taking, like about pedology, like you know, kid stuff, you know, learning about child development.
Pedagogy,
And,
is
and
it?
she,
I
yeah,
forget what it's called.
pedology,
Yeah,
you know, whatever. And she goes, "What did you say, mister?" I said, "Pedology." I can't say that. So she thought I was saying the other thing, the bad thing. Then I was like, "No, like."
You can't even spell it.
I was like, well, PEDO just means child related. It's when you add the suffix of the word that's the bad one that we're not going to say on the podcast. Get canceled our second episode in. Yeah, we're not going to say that word, but everybody knows. So I was like, no, like the prefix is the important part. I'm taking a class about child development, and she goes, well, then what the hell does necrophilia mean?
Oh my God.
I'm not going to explain the definition because I'm not going to get canceled. But I told her,
this is where, so
I was like, necro means, like if you play Warhammer 40,000, like Henry Cavill does,
so this is
the Necrons, which is the army I play, means they're undead.
So this is oh my God.
Well, the best part is, so I didn't directly explain it because I like my job. I really like teaching and I would like to keep doing it. But I kind of explained to her the idea, and she said, "That's insane." She's like, "That's the craziest thing I've ever heard." I said, "Why is that the craziest thing you've ever heard?" She goes, "Well, because I literally thought it meant people who like necks." Like that people who enjoy.
We just dealt with this
necks.
in the EMT class with the root word suffixes. I mean, we had to get the kids to kids they don't know. They have to learn all the root words and suffixes and prefixes.
Got to split words in half.
And the funny thing is I mean, no lie. If you asked me what a prefix, a suffix, or a root was of a word, even in high school, I would be like, Well, but
today
now,
sometimes
I know because of all the medical terminology over the years that I've learned. But it is funny though when you teach kids root word suffixes and prefixes, and you can see their eyes light up when they know a prefix or a suffix, and they hear it on another word, and they're like,
"Oh, wait a minute!" Yeah,
it's like. I wish.
At least theirs was medical. It wasn't like mine, where I was like, "I'm gonna get fired right here in the football field."
Anymore, do they? Some schools do. Ours doesn't.
No, that's Latin is unless you go to law school, like. But yeah, so like you said, the things kids say, like teaching is so funny because I'm like, I did not expect to have to explain what that word meant today, and to explain that it's not somebody who enjoys smelling somebody's neck.
I just love when kids spell words so.
Oh, spelling's my favorite.
So wrong that it actually is closer to another word.
Different
and you're
word,
like, what? And
yeah,
and then they're shocked that you don't know what they're
talking about. Well, like this
about.
day in history, like you had a kid who was using Chat GPT. Like I had to have a conversation with a student because they were just their explanation of the article they were supposed to read. They were only using emojis because they were they were doing it at home, so they were using their iPad and they just would explain their reaction to the article using emojis. And I had to tell them, like, I get what you mean, but you have to use words. And it was a whole thing of like, well, why? If you know what I mean, I was like, because it's about like explaining it. I was like, you're going to write a report like that in real life?
It's so much worse.
Oh, so much worse. We're doomed.
Yeah.
Society's doomed. Humans are doomed. On that note, let's take it a time machine back. A time machine.
Is Pierce Brosnan leading the way?
I would hope so.
Like my vision, just so you know, and I want you to keep completely quiet while I describe this. Mark, it's okay if you comment. My vision of a time machine is an old washing machine box with Pierce Brosnan inside and a marker drawn number system from 1 to 0 or 0 to 9.
Your choice.
Please, sir. Please. And Pierce Brosnan is standing in there, and he opens the door which is just a slit down the side of the box that he pushes open. And I enter in, and Pierce Brosnan, dreamy 90s Pierce Brosnan says, "Where would you like to go, Dave?" And I say, wherever you want to take me, Pierce. And Pierce takes me where he wants to take me, and we off into the sunset. And then I never see Pierce again because he was in a dishwasher box or washing machine box, and I never see him again. And He probably drops me off somewhere hilarious. But that's my vision of a time machine.
Oh, that's so weird. That's the same dream I had when I had a fever a couple weeks ago. So let's take a more practical time machine, and it's
Do time machines go forwards or backwards? They can't go both.
they can't. It's got to go one way. And
They gotta go forward, right?
Well, I think forward makes the most sense. And you wouldn't want to. I saw the butterfly effect with Ashton Kutcher one time, and like you don't want to go back because if you change stuff, bad stuff happens.
Yeah,
It's like
that is a whole theory.
yeah, you don't do the.
Because then
It's like a ripple in the
effects.
pond. You don't want to ripple the pond.
boy.
This is a deep episode, guys. We got to like time travel.
I
want to go back to what happened to you in school. That happens like it's a core memory for everybody. Last time you guys made me feel stupid because square dancing didn't happen for you guys. But I brought a new one to the table today. That's gotta have happened for everybody at some point in their school.
Oh, are you ready, Mark? Now I'm ready.
You can put yourself
Go on.
into your weird
I'm waiting.
cardboard box with Pierce Brosnan.
That wasn't weird. That was freaking cool.
It was cool.
Keep going.
The public puker.
The what?
The public puker. The kid who just got in the middle, like was never gonna make it to the nurse. It's sad. He was doomed. He was never gonna make it. Walks to the front of the classroom and just pukes on the floor in the classroom. It could be in the gym too. Just a public. It was not in a toilet. Like the janitor had to come with the kitty litter.
I haven't had that.
The classroom got evacuated.
I haven't had that.
Public puker.
I haven't had that.
I'm gonna start doing polls. What school system did I go to?
I've seen it on The Simpsons, but I've never experienced it.
This
ever.
is insane.
Normally, I mean, you and I track pretty well.
This ain't it.
No,
Again?
yeah.
2 in a row. I'm gonna get one that you guys had. So you guys never had a kid just throw up in the middle of the classroom?
No.
I could like vaguely think of memories. Nothing to
No.
the point of like.
I had, and he's a good friend of mine still. So I hope it's okay. I'm telling this story. We were in 2nd grade. And he walked to the front of the classroom. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It was 40 years ago. It's fine.
Yeah, it was a while ago. I chose 2nd grade. And he went up to the teacher and he said, I need to go. I need to. And just like a waterfall in the middle. We had to evacuate the classroom. The janitor came with the kitty litter. And like it was a whole thing. And like so many people I've talked to, they're like, yeah, the public puker, the kid. There's always one kid throws up in the middle of the classroom.
No.
I was a public puker and I threw up in the gym. Right in the middle of the gym. Right on the mascot, right in the middle of the floor.
Like regularly or?
No, like one time I had the flu and I knew I was never going to make it to the nurse. But like you have to get permission to go to the nurse. So I had to tell the teacher that I need to go to the nurse. But mid telling the teacher, I threw up on his gym shoes. Which is, you're right, gym teachers are really cool because like, he didn't hold it against me.
Yeah, no.
Does that never happen to you guys?
No.
All right, 0 for 2.
Not at all.
Great.
But
well, I'm just going to cut this whole section.
It does, it did make me laugh. So as I was, and I don't know, feel free to tell me your experiences with this, but, we used to write arrest warrants and tickets and stuff like that. And I hated writing tickets.
Yes.
I always gave warnings every single time I gave a warning.
Just less paperwork.
But anyway, we were writing warrants and we were arresting people and doing stuff. And I laugh now that I have this little 3-inch by 4-inch pad. And this pad is a pass.
Oh, it's
and
power.
This pass can do anything. I can put anything I want on this pass. I can put any kid's name on it. I can put any date,
any destination,
any time, anything.
Pierce Brosnan,
right? And I put a kid's name on this, and I write 6 or 7 of these a day, and each one I write is like legend status. Like I've granted a child, Mark. I've granted a human being permission to go somewhere. So like
I mean, that's a very powerful
right. I mean,
it's like knighting somebody,
right?
Right.
Teachers are definitely going to get that. You've knighted them.
And think about this: I'm
go get water.
Think about this: like a kid asks, "Oh, can I have a pass for a 3rd period?" I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." So I'm writing a pass for the future. I am granting that child travel into the future.
Dave Brosnan time machine.
I don't know. I
There it is.
feel like there's something to that, and
This episode better be named
you know,
Pierce Brosnan's time machine.
I just feel like that is a power.
It is power. Teachers are gonna know, like you can also like,
Imagine
well, the ultimate power is when you tell them, no, you may not have a pass.
But imagine working at like anywhere else. Imagine working, so our last episode we were joking about Petco.
Yeah, they're saying,
All right,
yeah.
So
this is the segue.
You
to
work
that.
at Petco.
Things
right?
that only happen at school.
You write at Petco. You work at Petco, right? Your boss writes you a pass, right?
To the bathroom.
No.
Oh, even better.
A pass to aisle 6. You're like, oh my God, I'm not really allowed to go there. But
I haven't seen the dog leashes since I started working here.
Listen, I'm
gonna squeak every toy in that fucking aisle.
I just I have a feeling that this is
Imagine you're a restaurant and like the manager has to write you a pass to go bring the patrons their food.
So I just recently got a stamp of my face. It was a gift to me. I think it's kind of funny. But
Is that
got
your
me a
signature?
Stamp. And so, yeah, I stamped
That's
the passes
awesome.
with my face.
They can never forge that.
Right now, they cannot. So it's easier and funnier, and I just stamped the passes with my face. So
Yeah, they definitely can. It's like they'd have to be able to draw that one scene from The Elephant Man.
it's just kind of funny. It's like, so, Albert Einstein was a teacher. Like, did Albert Einstein write passes? Because imagine how many passes he would have written.
We're gonna offend some like relative
I would love
physicists.
I want an Albert
Like,
Einstein
we just
pass.
put ourselves on the same plane as Albert Einstein, as we talked about a kid throwing up me in the gym. And there's going to
that's
be
true.
some like relative physicist who listens to this and goes, I was going to give this 5 stars on Apple, but this is getting 1 star because these dudes just put themselves in the same plane as Albert Einstein, which I love that. So like, I'll take that. I want all 5 stars, but I'll take that 1 star because that's, because that's funny. That's comedy. So the other thing, that I wanted to bring up because it did make me laugh. So a student sent
Imagine
me.
if we had passes at the police department.
Yeah.
Like,
You have a- you have
I
a-
stopped somebody on the side of the road. This is not a ticket. This is not a warning. This is a pass. Excuse me?
This is a pass
This
for you
is
to
a
go
pass.
home.
You have
that kind of like a verbal?
No. This is a pass.
No, it's a hall pass. to go home.
Oh, you want like a fifth?
I'm giving
Yeah.
you a pass to go to New Haven.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't want to go.
Yeah,
This is a pass to
to
New Haven.
Like
Yeah.
I was on my way to Vernon,
New Haven.
turning
Not
around.
anymore.
You want the pass or you do not want the pass,
Yeah.
sir or ma'am?
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's in pep rally status of like things that happen at a school that are so normal or like in regular life are just so absurd.
I wish
Like-
we had morning announcements at the police department or anywhere else. Can you imagine morning announcements at Petco? Good morning, fish and cats and birds. To Timmy in the
They're just
the
in
fish
their
aisle.
cages losing their minds because it's so loud.
Yeah, right.
Because the morning announcements are
So
absurdly
at mine,
loud.
you can't even hear them. So like, we're gonna stand and we're gonna have all of the turtles lead the Pledge of Allegiance today. They clearly don't know how to do it, but we're gonna have them do it anyway because that's what we do every single day. Is we have somebody that doesn't know how to lead the pledge, and so the turtles botch the Pledge of Allegiance, and then next we talk about what's for lunch. That
For
day.
lunch
And so
today
for lunch
is going
today,
to be
we have fish
feed.
pellets, we have bird pellets, we have dog pellets, and we also have worms.
One lucky guinea pig is going to be fed to the snakes
Right,
today,
right.
so make sure you get
Right.
your permission slip signed.
Right.
Imagine you have permission slips like
Yeah, like
At
I
work?
just morning announcements are and I don't know about you, but we have a teacher that does the morning announcements and they interject their own made up words, and which I'm
That's
sure
great.
yours are like Friday on Fridays. I'm like, oh my God.
well, I'm not allowed to discuss that. I'm sworn to
but-
secrecy on because there's 2 morning announcements that happen at my school.
I like that they do that. Like it's
Well,
so
one of them's
cheesy.
one of
It's
them's
like,
my
It's not
boss.
even dad jokes. Like it's just that's
well,
bad.
well, one of them's my boss, so I really, 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 really love those announcements. I can't speak enough about them highly. But the other announcements are done by the kids, and they turn the volume to a level that sounds like I'm screaming directly into your ear. And because the kids, they can't handle it, they botch it because they just laugh the whole time. And they always do a quote of the day, and they can never get through it because they always give them, I don't know why they don't give them layups of
I got one for you.
have a fun day. They're like, we should give them,
I got one for you.
Edgar Allan Poe, and they make them read it, and it's torture because it always interrupts you, which I want to get into next week. What do you got for me?
So, and Mark, you're gonna laugh at this. I feel like I almost need a whiteboard at this point because, and maybe you can Google just a random list, but I have to tell you,
Google random list.
No. That when they say the school lunches over the intercom, right? Mark, I'm not gonna lie. Half the days I'm like, oh, I can get down on that. Yeah. Like I'm like, that sounds freaking good. Like, yeah. Like, oh, French bread pizza. I'm there.
Choice of fruit, choice of milk.
Oh, they always say that. Your milk or fruit choices. I'm like, milk or fruit choice. Like what? What?
So the question is, do you get milk or fruit, or do you get?
Yeah, it's definitely weird. But some of the things that they serve in the caf, at least the description, the words are pretty awesome. And so I say to the kids, I'm like, your lunch sounds awesome. They're like, I'm like, what do you mean? And then they bring it back, and I'm like, oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But then the funny thing is that about the school lunches is some of the sleeper ones, they're like, they say something, the kids go nuts. I'm like, that sounded horrible.
Yeah, horrible.
And the kids are like, that's the best lunch that they serve here. Trust me. I'm like, okay. And it turns out it's like they have this one is mac and cheese sticks or whatever, right? And
sounds
I'm like,
horrifying.
Yeah, right. I'm like, what the hell is a mac and cheese stick? That sounds absolutely horrible. These kids come back. I swear, it's a square of mac and cheese deep fried.
That was so good.
And it comes with like a dipping sauces. I'm like, oh my god. Did you get to find a list of like school lunches? Like I need a list of school lunches because I'm telling you, when you describe them over, like if he were to read out a school lunch, like you and I could commiserate right now. That sounds awesome. Yeah. And then I could tell you what it actually looks like.
Oh yeah, it looks. And most of it.
And
the French bread pizza does particularly look horrifying.
Correct, and it is. It's not good.
And shout out to our school lunch ladies because you guys rock. You guys are doing the thing.
So ours at the school,
it's a hard job. They're amazing
ours
people.
At the school. I have to tell you, like, I still am shocked at this day and age that. Like,
why are they still giving fucking milk to kids?
No.
I know it's not them. I'm just saying, why are we doing that?
I'm shocked at this day and age. Like,
I want to go back to that.
Like some kids can't afford lunch, and like the school covers it.
Yeah, man.
And like they still like say it. So we have this one lunch lady. She's amazing. And so like when kids when the kids don't want stuff, like whatever, she sets it aside, right? So it's clean, regular food. Like it hasn't been served to anybody. And then like at the end, she gives it out to anybody that's still hungry.
That's awesome.
That's amazing, right?
That's so cool.
Dude, she got in so much trouble for that. I'm like, what?
Really?
What? Like, why? Anyway, did you find out? Can you read me? Did you have any that
the
you
one
could
we
read
had?
Me?
The one we had that kids freaked out. They like chicken chunkers, and I was like, that sounds disgusting.
Chicken chunker.
That's exactly what I said.
That's what your buddy said at the front of the class. Second grade. Like
they wanted to throw
a chicken chunker right there.
They wanted to throw a parade. They were like, yes. I was like, that sounds horrific.
They do brunch for lunch.
They do chicken and waffles at my school, and I was stoked for that.
They do breakfast for lunch, and I'm like, that sounds awesome. The kids are like, no.
Yeah.
No,
the chicken and waffles did not look
what are you talking about?
Great. But
weirdly, this does not seem like a hot topic on the internet.
Really?
I mean, there are threads. Like I'm scrolling Reddit right now, and I'm going down a little bit of
I'm tempted to pull up my school's lunch.
Pull up your school lunch.
Do they have that? That's gotta be online, right?
Probably.
That's where like that's not shared. People are more sharing memories of like
memories of school lunch. Right.
Like
right.
for me, it was always.
I still want to know why are we still serving milk? And it's the same. The kid brought it back. It was the same cardboard box of milk.
I got the lunch menu.
What's the look for the best and the worst one on there?
Hang on, I'm getting it.
And while you're doing
There's
that,
a nutritional information thing, which I feel like I shouldn't be looking at.
No, that's secret. I don't get why we just don't give like bottles of water. Like, why are we still serving milk at 11:14 a.m.?
I got something.
I mean, it's pretty good.
What's the best? What's the one that you would order?
What do you got over there, Mar?
So I got.
I'm trying to find mine.
Chicken nugget day.
Yeah, so
that's chicken chunkers.
They're not awful.
The
Are you
or
allowed to eat?
cheeseburger?
Are you allowed to eat the lunches at this?
They don't do cheeseburgers in mine. No.
I mean, either. You can't even buy them.
No.
So, like, say I forget my lunch. I can't go to the cafe and buy lunch. Seems silly.
Well, we have a culinary department who rock, by the way, and they have a cafe just for teachers. That's not the school lunch menu. So like the culinary students they run a restaurant, and it is delightful. They make really, really good stuff there. So like I'm spoiled.
I got the
personally.
menu right here. All right, what day is today?
Well, today's
Monday
a weekend. Yeah, what do we got Monday?
All right, so Monday we
cooking
got.
up?
Well, it's an actual it's a business.
When they do mixed vegetables,
Nardone's
that's what's
cheese
good.
pizza with assorted toppings, mixed garden salad, marinated broccoli, fruit choices, milk choice.
Fruit choice, milk choice, baby.
Fruit choice, milk
Every
choice.
time, dude. Fruit
So
choice,
I
milk choice.
guarantee you that the pizza, the kids actually like the pizza. It's
I
it's
mean,
not.
well,
because it's from a local place. Like it's actually pretty damn good.
like-
Yeah. All right.
That's pretty.
Here
That's
we
pretty
go.
dope.
All right. It's the next day. Here's your thing. Tell me that these go together. Stop, Mark. All right. Chicken and waffles. The side is barbecue baked beans
Those will go together.
with honey glazed carrots, fruit choice, milk choice.
fruit choice, milk choice messes
Wait,
me up.
hang on. Barbecue baked beans goes with chicken and waffles?
I mean, I could.
On what planet?
Barbecue and chicken.
Yeah.
Ugh, you guys are crazy.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't love it, but
No, it's
it's
not
like,
ideal.
yeah.
All right, then we have cheese stuffed bread with a marinara cup.
Okay. So, like bread dippers, yeah.
I don't know.
I'm in.
That's solid.
See, the problem with me
dude,
is
they're doing it good on this one. All right, so baseball opening day, they're doing hot dog, popcorn,
No.
coleslaw, smiley fries.
No.
The smiley fries are
the
amazing.
smiley fries. I am not eating a school hot dog. dude.
Why? A glizzy. Give me a couple gut rockets. I'm gonna slam those things down. Wait, all
I
right,
think
Mark.
I would-
What do you for toppings for a hot dog?
For a hot dog?
Yeah, what do you got in your glizzy?
Ketchup, mustard. really,
Okay,
Mainly.
relish. What are you guys doing?
The whole, my whole thing is like not everywhere has.
is this homemade or are we going restaurant?
No, we're doing
Backyard barbecue.
backyard barbecue. What do you put on your glizzy?
What's Ted making?
No, I'm going.
Any of you guys sauerkraut?
Big sauerkraut, dude.
Yeah, I like sauerkraut.
Yeah, but that's just not available everywhere.
that's true.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
true.
If,
So
it,
if I
if
was
we're
to
just
bank on
talking
it-
That's
standard backyard barbecue, I'm gonna hit it with some mustard,
You gotta do
relish,
mustard.
and onions, dude.
Yeah, I like that mustard relish. All right, so there's that, and then we have
I'm getting hungry.
the last day is breaded chicken strips, tater tots, warm dinner roll, kale and apple salad,
Fruit
milk
choice, milk choice. See, my big problem isn't actually what
actually
they're
don't sound that
serving.
bad.
It's with the milk that goes with it because I never exist on a planet where I'm like, I know what I want to have with my hot dog.
What makes
And it's a
black beans
lukewarm
Cuban?
glass of chocolate milk.
What makes black beans Cuban? Cuban black beans,
I think probably the spices.
beef tacos,
That scares me.
beef and cheese nachos.
I've seen this hot
These are
tacos.
the mac
That
and
scares
cheese
me.
bites. That's what they
Yeah,
got.
those sound
French
slamming.
toast sticks, buffalo popcorn smackers.
Oh, the smackers. Smackers. I'm like, what?
American
What are we
chop
talking
suey.
about, dude?
What
See-
kid would eat
Wait,
that?
no, it's
Oh.
funny you say that. Okay, we're gonna end on the American chop suey. First of all, I don't even know what that is.
It's
I don't-
it's
I don't want-
macaroni salad with beef.
That sounds
Beef's
disgusting.
horrible.
But I'm telling you,
My dad likes it. That's
they
all.
just had that at bleep that. They just had that at school. They just had that, and the kids came back from lunch, and it was like I brought them to Gordon Ramsay's private screening of dishes. They were like, "Mr. Lunch today was bussin'. It was amazing." I said, "Well, was it? Was it the Smackers?" It was American chop suey. I was like, "That's the most insane thing I've heard today." And they were like, "I had 2 plates of it."
No way.
I swear, dude, I swear to
No
God,
way.
American chop
They
suey.
were just hyped.
It's
dude, they
mac
were-
and cheese and hamburger. or
They
it's not mac
were-
and cheese. It's just mac.
It's like red sauce.
Yeah.
I was like,
Some people really like it. I
they
don't
were
know. Not for me.
psyched up, dude. And like I was like, and what did you have for a side? They were like, well, obviously milk. And I was like, that sounds disgusting.
They drink a lot of milk.
So much milk, dude. I don't get it. Somebody write us and why we're still serving milk. There's got to be somebody smart out there.
Well, I mean, they need their their
Calcium?
vitamins. I guess, sure.
Okay, Ronald Reagan.
Well, I mean, it's. You know what's crazy? Is
They
that
stopped doing milk commercials,
their
but we still say like
breakfast-
milk. It
have
does
you
the
seen
body
Have
good.
you seen the breakfast?
The breakfast.
The breakfast is unreal.
Dude, they have such good. They have
Mark, no lie.
McDonald's
They
hash
get
browns.
Also,
Oh, yeah, every day,
yeah. The kids get breakfast. So, especially in our school. So our school's
McDonald's hash browns.
the most amazing.
so
breakfast
good.
I mean, it
Uncrustables.
looks like it's from McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like these bacon, egg, and cheeses, sausage, egg, and
Yeah,
cheese.
dude.
I'm like, oh my god.
That's insane.
They're cooking,
I
dude.
love it. Yeah.
Um,
Uncrustables are lit.
And I'm still not allowed to have any of them.
Nope. Because I don't eat my breakfast right away because when I get to school, but I do morning duty and I see them walking the hash browns. I'm like, oh man, that looks good. So one more thing I want to chat about today because it's funny. Because a kid sent me a picture and I was like, the whole scene of the picture, I sent it to you earlier, made me laugh because we're doing kind of a cool thing with the way we teach our EMT class, and we're kind of doing it hybrid.
Oh, certainly out of the box, yeah.
Yeah, so you're coming on Google Meet and teaching some stuff.
So basically, Ted's.
Why don't you explain it? I'm gonna refresh my water.
Ted's program, they didn't have an EMS instructor that could teach the EMT class, and so I've been teaching it for so long, and so Ted and I were both talking. I'm like, well, this is silly. Like, we don't want Ted's students to not get their EMT license, and that's why a lot of them may have joined the program. So we kind of crafted this thing up together where I would teach 2 days remotely to his students, and then we would be in person together 2 days. Yes, it wasn't bad, but it's a lot of extra work, obviously, but it's worth it. The kids they're awesome, but it's led to some very interesting experiences because I don't know Ted's students, and Ted's students don't know me, and it's been interesting.
Right. So and there's some serious topics in there.
Right.
Obviously, it's EMT.
Right.
And you have to be professional, but
that's the crazy part about the EMT class is, we took a leap here, and we're one of the few programs in the state and the country that are doing
high school
the EMT class. Yeah. So we're doing, EMT is basically a junior level college class, and you're talking about really advanced topics.
Yeah.
I mean,
heavy stuff sometimes.
You're showing pictures of horrific things. You're teaching kids how to fix broken bones that are sticking out of the body. You're teaching them how to handle car crashes, how to handle strokes, cardiac arrests.
And by the way, you're all doing a great job.
Very, 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 very mature adult material. Yeah. And the cool part for me is that high school kids can handle it as long as you do it right.
But you got to inject some humor.
Well, you have to because the content is so. I mean, we were talking about delivering babies. The other day,
well, the other day, and this was so funny.
And first off, Mark, let's put yourself in my shoes.
All right.
I know, you're the teacher. You're going to be teaching 34 high school kids,
17-year-olds, 16, 17.
Yeah. So high school juniors about pregnancy, and the slides that are coming up on that giant screen in the classroom.
Absolutely.
Oh, we did it in our lecture hall, so it was like a 10-foot screen.
And it's coming.
Yep.
Like, you have to, at the same time, at one level, you have to say, okay, child, what you're about to see is very important to you and for your medical knowledge to help save this person's life. However, this is going to possibly ruin any dreams you've had of that region. So, and
when you're my age, you're going to remember it. So.
It's very interesting. But I have to be honest, these kids,
they did a good job.
An amazing job.
Yeah.
They're so mature. They laugh at the jokes that we kind of mean to be jokes. We know the slides they're going to laugh at, and so we let them go with it a little bit. But they
rein it back in.
There's not a single one of these kids that I wouldn't trust to deliver a baby.
Yeah,
which is incredible.
Or fix stuff because the other day when we were doing we were doing trauma.
Yeah,
and there is a possibility that your nether regions might experience trauma.
Yeah,
and this was the funny part. So you have no idea. You're just you're Oz. You're like the Wizard of Oz. You're on the screen. You're talking. And out of nowhere, it wasn't out of nowhere. You were explaining the context of the class. It was very professional, very mature. But I had happened to step out for a second to take a call or do something. And as I clicked the door back shut, I just hear, "Let's damage some genitals."
Oh no, I know what you're talking about. Now, oh my God, that's funny because that's totally contextual. And now all I'm thinking is oh my God, did a parent hear that didn't hear the beginning part? Because that first 5 minutes was very crucial to hear.
Yeah.
Before you hear that. So the whole lesson was about, it was unfortunate.
It was trauma to the
It was
genital.
about trauma and about how,
Yeah.
like, genital trauma is even though it's a small percentage of the body, like it's excruciatingly high priority for us because of the amount of blood flow and the amount of actual damage that can be done and everything like that. And so it's actually a very, very, very high priority call for us. And so I end with all that, and then like I led into the lesson, and that's what you heard. Oh my God, that's
but
funny.
the best part was so you just went on because it was contextual, and you were like, okay, let's talk about this very serious topic.
My kids didn't even smirk.
My kids, I came back and they were like beating their heads against the table laughing so hard. Oh, they thought it was the funniest.
My kids didn't laugh at all.
That's because they don't think you're funny. My kids think you're hysterical.
Oh my God.
If I had made that joke, they wouldn't have laughed.
They literally didn't laugh at all.
They were losing their minds.
I think I said it on the thing. I think I said, okay, I guess I'll just...
And you were just
take my jokes elsewhere. Like,
and you just went about, and they were laughing like you sold out the comedy club.
See, my kids didn't laugh at all.
But it makes it funnier for me because you don't know, so you just keep going on. So the other day, because we're almost done with EMT, we're getting there. You announced that we only had 3 chapters left. And because it's a slog. It's a long, it's a lot, you know, and like, even though you did, you know, and I appreciate it so much, like the bulk of like the hard and dry teaching, you know, I got to teach the fun stuff, the hands-on stuff, or like chapters when, you know, we didn't line up. But it's been a slog. So when you announced that there's 3 chapters left, I yard sailed and cleared my desk with my arm, climbed up on top of my desk and started chanting "almost done." And the kids were losing it. They were chanting. My co-teacher just embraced my lapse of sanity and was like, you know, just going with me. I'm on the desk screaming "almost done" while you were like, and first slide of chapter 43. And it was too funny. And it just makes it even funnier. The picture is great because you're on the screen in the background. I'm on the desk with my arms in the air. If any of my bosses listen to this, I definitely don't stand on the desk.
I had no idea this was going on.
You couldn't.
I wish that there was a camera in your room because I feel like my students
like
would
a fly on the wall. But I had my arms in the air, and this is like this is gonna be the end of the episode is going to be like a fade out, and it's just going to be the picture of me standing on my desk, arms in the air, my co-teacher pointing at me, and you're in the background with a book open. Teaching everybody. It's funny. It happens to everybody.
I have to be honest. Like what we're doing is pretty damn cool. I'm sure that there's a million of other stories of teachers doing really cool stuff with we're basically adapting some of the post-hybrid
like COVID stuff, to make it work.
I'm still kind of shocked that our district hasn't done it, whereas they've, like if there's a big snowstorm coming, they don't call it ahead of time. I know some other districts have. I talked to a friend of mine who's up in Maine, and she, their district, if there's a big storm coming, they'll pre-call a snow day ahead of time, and I'm sure we'll get there at some point. But it is pretty interesting what you can do even outside of that. So so what we're doing, which might help somebody else down the line, is we're teaching this EMT class, half remote, half in person over Google Meet. But what we learned is that we record every lesson because you can record a Google Meet, and so we've been recording all of these EMT lessons. So if you have a kid that's absent, like they don't miss it.
Yeah,
so it's really awesome.
And it's invaluable to the future.
It helps them study too. Like it's just, I'm sure there's
and it's funny you say that, and because they have gone back and they re-listen to them, and it's invaluable, I think, for us because we can go back. Not that we want to listen to ourselves or mainly you talk, but like we can pick stuff out of there where it's like, oh, we should teach that differently, and because we actually have a window into how we actually did it, because it's easy to do while you're. Like you're in the moment, and you're just rolling, you're the snowball rolling down the hill, but you actually go back. It's it's like football. You watch the tape of yourself and figure out how you can do it better. So teachers out there, I guess we'll leave us on constructive today. If you're doing something cool and you're a listener of ours, what are you doing that's cool? Like, how are you innovating? What are you doing that's like,
especially if it's something that is simple. Like, for instance, I didn't realize that you could just record a Google Meet that easy. Like, I knew you could record Google Meets. But like it never dawned on me that you can actually use that to really help students that aren't there.
Yeah. So for our,
Like I was using it for, you would use it for,
it's cool.
Yeah.
So for our listeners out there, if you're doing something cool, you're innovating, hit us up. We'd love to talk about it on here because as much as we do funny stuff, we do want to, help people out too. And more importantly, tell us your favorite Pierce Brosnan movie.
Yes. Hang on. I feel like
Message in, hit us on our socials.
And what was your favorite Pierce Brosnan age?
Yeah. What age do you,
I mean, he is ageless.
He is. He's timeless, dude. He's like a fine Cabernet.
I feel like he must know that guy from Baywatch. It's like German.
The Hoff dude.
Yeah, the Hoff. I feel like they got to know each other. Like they got to be friends, right?
I would imagine.
Is
They're
Hoff-
probably like us. You think Hoff and Braz are doing a pod? We should find out. So
That'd be a good pod.
that would be. I would listen. I'm overloaded
I
on
wonder
pods.
if
but I would
did
listen.
they ever do a movie together? I feel like that's where it's at.
Maybe they're not allowed because it would be too good. But tell us your favorite Pierce Brosnan movie. Tell us if you're doing something cool. Tell me somebody out there in the world had to square dance and had a kid throw up in your classroom. What's
Nobody
the timeless
has.
thing that happened in your school? But most
What's the
importantly,
most ridiculous place you've written a pass to?
oh yeah, where'd you write it past you?
What was your worst school lunch?
Engage with us. That's what we're telling you. Hit us up on our socials. Everything is non-professional development. We're on everything. We're everywhere you get your pod.
I saw us at Stop and Shop on a water bottle the other day.
Yeah. Yes.
And Mark, unfortunately, was also on a milk carton, but it was unrelated.
Well, I'm not letting him out of the basement, if that's what you're asking. So thanks for hanging out with us.
Strawberry milk, though.
Yes, yeah. Fruit choice, milk choice, obviously. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Friday.
It is Saturday. Saturday. Hit us up on all of our socials. Check us out wherever you get your favorite pod. Watch us on YouTube. If you are somebody who drives to work in the morning and you're just getting us audio and you want to see our pretty faces, we are on YouTube as well. If you want to,
Picture Shrek.
put that thing in cruise control and pop us up on YouTube in between your steering wheel.
We have Shrek and Pierce Brosnan here.
Like, Shrek and Bras bringing
free
to
to
you
watch.
another wonderful episode. Man, it's been fun.
Cheers,
What a
man.
great time.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. Rock.
Guys.
Now back to the pyramids, dude.
Dude, that's insane. That's insane.
That's crazy, right?
So what, so I saw the picture that he showed, right? So those staircases, they could have very been easily used.
They don't know if they're staircases. Oils.
But it could be used to also just as an escape as they were filling it with
As
sand.
they were digging.
They were going up. But still, what the hell are those for? I mean, you could make some argument that they didn't want them to sink.
2,000 feet.
Yeah, I know. Nuts.
That's
Nuts.
so far.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Digging 2,000 feet, dude.
What's crazy to me is the man hours that would be required for that.
Excavating it.
Right.
Getting the dirt
Well,
out.
that's with our current equipment.
yeah.
Like back then, what was the man hours that was required for that? Like it's staggering. So like, I mean, it's well known that like when Pharaoh became the Pharaoh, whatever, like they would make the plans for their place or whatever. But that place was never done by the time they were dead. So like it's staggering to know that on top of the pyramid, they also added digging a mile into the ground.
6 different times because there's 6 columns of it.
Oh my God.
That's 6 miles down of digging collectively.
It's also crazy to me how everything out there keeps getting buried. Now I get it, things get buried, but like it seems like they're always finding something.
She may join.
They're always
It's
they're always
crazy, dude.
finding something. Like
Yeah.
man,
I loved that episode so much.
that was good.
I loved that
Well,
episode.
not as good as the first one, but good.
No, I thought that was better, personally.
Hi.
I thought that one was better. I thought
Really?
it was funny. I thought
Really?
it was...
I thought it was worse.
No way, dude. I thought that one was better.
Well, I like that then. That's good.
I thought that one was... dude, that was
Hi.
filled with different hijinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Pierce Brosnan stuff is gold.
That was, yeah.
Dude, like, that was a way better